Good morning. Welcome to the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Wright, coming to you from the cold and chilly confines of Atlantic City, New Jersey. Wherever you may be watching or listening, I thank you as always. Like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel. You can check the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Substack. Trovo, and it also on Podbean. I thank you guys for always watching. This episode, guys, will be dedicated to the Bird game, Fly Eagles Fly. This will be talking about the Eagles versus Steelers preview. Big game coming up today, Keystone State matchup. Rivalry game that I love whenever it comes up, but doesn't really frequently happen enough for me. If you're an Eagles or a Steelers fan, I guess. I talked to a lot of different Steelers fans this week and Eagles fans as well. It's a big game. All of us are hyped and anticipating it, and definitely looking forward to the Eagles' victory. But of course, as always, guys, I want to make sure I brought up some key points and topics and some content to you guys to talk about and discuss going into this game that I think will be pertinent. That will be keys, key takeaways for Eagles victory. Hopping right into it, though, I want to make sure I mention to you guys one of the new partners of the show with the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast now is StubHub. StubHub is obviously where, one of the greatest, ticket vendors out there in the world, concert tickets, sports, whatever venue you're looking for, check out StubHub. I will have descriptions in the link and also ID references in the link that you can use to purchase tickets. Whether you guys are trying to catch, the Eagles game today or future Eagles games coming up, whether you're trying to catch that Kendrick, Lamar, and SZA concert, or whatever it is in the area that you're trying to catch up recently with or trying to see, definitely check out StubHub. It's the best place to go get tickets. But nonetheless, guys, with that being said, hopping right into it, this is a big game. Swing game, just like it was 2 weeks ago against Baltimore. So I'm not going to overhype it or try to oversell it for what it is, but this is definitely a big game. Rivalry, record-wise, you've already clinched a playoff spot, but let's be honest. I've said throughout the whole season, you're not getting the number one seed, but, you're still technically fighting for that. There's a lot of different things on the line for Philadelphia today and for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is still trying to clinch a playoff spot, so big game. This game is going to start at 4:25. Thank God it's going to be seeing that on Fox. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be hearing Tom Brady and Kevin Burkhardt commentating the game. Shout out to Tom Brady, too. I think it's definitely been a lot better commentating on these games throughout the weeks. Last week had a sore throat in that Bills-Rams game, and he was stupendous. One of his best games he commentated. So shout out to him for that. But this is a big game. Historically, surprisingly, I've had to educate a lot of Steelers fans because, when you win 6 championships, you think you're invincible against everybody. But I actually had to educate a lot of people. The series record is actually dominated by Philadelphia. Philadelphia leads the all-time series 48-29, and there's been 3 ties in this series, surprisingly. I think the last tie dates back to the year 2000. So, again, historic rivalry. These two teams played 2 years ago. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown that went off. Jalen had 285 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. A.J. Brown was tremendous in that game. But that was 2 years ago. This is now. This is pretty much a mirror image of the same teams. The Eagles, and it's hilarious to me because when you're watching it, looking at it stat-wise is a mirror image. Rushing attack, defense, passing. Now, I will admit the Eagles' passing numbers are a little bit, obviously down within the past couple weeks because they've been very, run-based and run-dominant. Haven't had to do a lot of passing as far as having 20 to 30 attempts within a game. That being said, mirror image of the same teams playing each other. So it's very much going to be a very interesting game on how this plays out. But some of the things I definitely wanted to mention and point out. First, the Eagles' defense must take away the Steelers' running game for this game to be pretty much ineffective for the Steelers to even have a shot on offense. The Eagles must take away that running game. They have to limit Najee Harris and Warren. And also the fact that you don't have George Pickens playing today, that definitely plays into the Eagles factor. So that definitely should help. Though I will admit, you do still have Pat Freiermuth there. And tight ends have given us a bit of an issue this year. That has been something that hasn't really been harped on. So we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on Freiermuth because he's going to be an issue. I'm interested to see who the Eagles will have him lined up against in passing situations. But yes, no George Pickens will definitely help, but it doesn't mean that the test is going to be even easier for this defense. They must take away the running game, take Pittsburgh's running game away if the Eagles are going to have any chance of really dominating and winning this game. Also, too, I think offensively, something that has been talked about and beaten like a dead horse all week. The Eagles have to stick with the running game. I know that, A.J. Brown said the passing game is the issue right now, and, Jalen's talked about it, and guys have spoken at various points, coaching staff, Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni have spoken on it. But in all reality, you don't stop using or doing anything if it's not broken. Don't fix it. It's just that simple. If your running game is working and you're literally dominating the NFL with this rushing attack and people know what you're doing and they can't stop it, you don't fucking stop doing it. The reality of the situation is, I think what will be key today, because the Steelers' pass defense is kind of middle of the pack. They're not garbage, but they're not good either. They're kind of right in the middle. So I think right now, this game particularly, you stick with the running game, but you utilize that pass when the situation dictates it. It's the RPOs, run pass options, quick play action game, screen game. I think it's going to definitely be good to utilize against this Pittsburgh defense. This is an attacking downhill defense. They're going to try to limit the passing game. They're going to try to make it, very much muddy the game up, muck it up to make it a tight game, because that's pretty much what Pittsburgh thrives off of. That's their MO. So, that Philadelphia has to be cognizant of that. Stick with the running game. When the passing situations dictate it, you got to win those matchups. And like I said, Steelers passing defense is ranked 17th. So again, not garbage, not great. But the key to this game will be the rushing attack for Philly's offense. Pittsburgh's defense is 4th in run defense. Though Philadelphia is 1st, Pittsburgh is 4th. So they're still formidable. They allow around 95 rushing yards a game. I think that number will definitely go up today. But the key for them is going to be real simple. They're going to try to take away Saquon Barkley as much as possible. We'll see how that works. We'll see how effective that is. But I think that there's going to be definitely opportunities where the passing game will be there and the Eagles will be able to utilize play action, and they'll have situations where they can win the down and distance. The key, though, will be do not get dumbass, stupid penalties that force you into long downs and distances. A lot of ineligible man downfields, a lot of stupid holding penalties, a lot of little false starts here and there. You can't really have that. Today is not really the day to have that. You have to be clean and efficient if you're the offensive line. Because in all honesty, they have to be honest. They didn't play a great game against Carolina. I mean, Jalen definitely has to wear some of that. He had open targets he didn't hit. But the offensive line at times, he had 3 seconds to throw. The flip side to that was he got sacked 4 times. So he clearly didn't have all day to fucking throw the ball. So got to play a lot more of a cleaner game for your offensive line today. And defensively, if you're Philadelphia, you have to force Russell Wilson into long down and distance situations. Their passing offense is 23rd for a reason. It's kind of, even with George Pickens being good and having the season he's having, it's been kind of hit or miss for them. Force him into bad situations. This is still Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson will make plays. He's going to make, he's going to hit a couple moon balls. He's going to scramble and get a couple, scramble plays off to the edge and, chuck the ball downfield and get a 15, 20-yard completion. That being said, you can force him into bad situations. This is a game where Philadelphia's defense minimum should get 2 interceptions. You should be able to force him into a couple bad situations where you can get 2 interceptions. Whether they catch them is the question, but you definitely could force them into those interceptions. So it's going to be a key there for Philadelphia. As far as offensively for Philadelphia, the Eagles' rushing offense is definitely going to be tested. As I spoke to the rushing defense for Pittsburgh, they're 4th currently in the NFL. And like I said, pass blocking and rush blocking, the offensive line is something that have to play a cleaner game. They're 5th in scoring defense, and one of the major things for the Steelers is getting turnovers. You cannot have turnovers today. I mean, the Eagles have played pretty much clean games throughout the past several weeks. I think Jalen has had 1 interception within the past 5 or 6 weeks. You cannot have turnovers today. You have to be smart, clean, physical, and efficient against this defense. They pride themselves on this. This is their bread and butter. This is how they win football games. They're known as a good scoring offense. They're 10th in the NFL in scoring offense. But make no mistake, the Steelers are not winning games 35-14. They're winning games 35-31. They're winning games 17-14, 20-14. That's how they like to win football games. The Eagles can win football games like that as well, too. The key to it, though, is no turnovers. You cannot have that today against this team. If you have multiple turnovers against this Pittsburgh team, hell, I'll be honest, if you have one bad turnover against this team, I think it could cost you depending on where it happens and when it happens. Also, too, don't get frustrated. Last but not least, I think this is a key thing when a lot of teams play Pittsburgh. They kind of get distracted with this. When you're playing Pittsburgh, you can't get frustrated. Pittsburgh prides themselves on forcing you into playing the style of football you don't want to play. And that's great for Philadelphia because football can be played ugly, fast-paced, methodical. I mean, the Eagles have all types of shades to this offense. They could be stagnant at times, but in all honesty, they could win it any type of way. So this is going to be a key game. I think this game is going to be a lot tighter than what people think. I do think that the Eagles are going to be able to pull it out, but I think that it's going to call for efficiency. It's going to call for the Eagles not to get frustrated and no stupid ass turnovers that's going to put this team in position to really beat you. Because if you give Pittsburgh turnovers and you put them in prime situations, they're going to kill you. But ultimately, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. As always, like, share, and subscribe. Like I say, I thank you guys as always for watching. As again, the game will be on at 4:25. Check out my reaction video after the game. Take care and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Merry Christmas and enjoy this football Sunday, guys.